Hi guys, welcome to DOdaily Wednesday workout. It's Des here. Hopefully you're having a great day. Fired up, ready for some midweek motivation. Of course, we've got the offering of the Wednesday workout challenge. I'll mention that shortly. But before I do, just want to say what an effort yesterday with the Tuesday training, the solidarity session. Absolutely brilliant. I said over the last few days, I've said it a few times, that I really feel people are getting to grips with the situation, realising what we can do for ourselves and really sort of making the most of it, accepting change a little bit, and that's really important, isn't it? You know, it's one of the things I talk about a lot, and understanding that we're living in a changing world, but we still need to do the things we can. So seeing people take that on board over the last couple of weeks, there's been more and more people who have perhaps been a little reluctant before. So it's been absolutely fantastic to see. I managed to get out and got a decent run in, so I was particularly pleased with that. I did a social media post on my own Facebook saying that whilst it's not all about sort of PBs and running fast and all those great achievements, you know, they still offer so much. It's still important to see progress. When you put so much into something, you want to see results. So whilst DOdaily and running in particular is not all about that, it's really important to, for me personally, to see that progress at times, especially after so long, feeling a little bit frustrated with it, but I'm feeling great about it now, really putting the effort in, really making an effort to stay on top of things, to stay strong, and that's what's really important, isn't it? And of course, from the Tuesday training, we've got Wednesday workout. Good one today, really enjoying how it's getting on so far. Basically, I've asked all the DOrunning community and anybody else that wants to get involved to actually just tally up how many steps they do. Do you know, whether it's running or walking, whether it's genuine activity, genuine exercise, or just walking to the shops, because it's important to understand, isn't it, that we can achieve by understanding. Sometimes we do more than we actually realise, and that's the purpose of what I'm trying to prove there. You know, I'm looking for a few I'm looking at a few ways of gathering information, working on a few projects to sort of put that together. But for today, what I'm asking is people just to sort of mount them steps up, and if somebody else doing that inspires you to get out and build your steps slightly, then that's absolutely fantastic as well, isn't it? It's just different ways of accepting the new normal, you know, and accepting a little bit of change sometimes to make us all understand the benefits of activity and physical activity, and the benefits that can have on mental health and the impact it has on us all around. And that's what's really important. That's what I'm trying to do through DOdaily. It's what I'm trying to do in general, you know, is just help people become a slightly better version than themselves. We all have moments where we're not feeling fantastic, where we're not feeling great, but it's important to sort of really attack these things, really accept what's on offer, you know, use different things to motivate you. Today, I'm out walking, trying to get my steps in. I want to, there's slight competition today between the DOrunning guys, so that's all fair. You know, we don't generally work on those terms, but I want to build my steps up. I've actually found myself at a place called Sharp Hill Woods. I came from here a couple of weeks ago on a Friday, a few months ago actually now. Doesn't seem that long ago, but they all seem to merge into one. But I came from here and I explained to the viewers that day that this is a place that I generally come when I've got something to think about, you know, my go-to place, somewhere I've found in the last couple of years and really enjoy it. Not quite sure why I've ended up here today, apart from the fact it's quiet. I wanted to sort of get a decent walk in, and it is a good walk from where I am. You know, I think I've already done 3 miles, so it's at least 3 miles back, so it's going to be a good walk. Still got to get my run in because I'm working through that challenge. So it's just about ticking all those boxes, isn't it, and getting out there and doing things. That's really important. And what I really want to discuss today, I've mentioned a few times this week already about not being put off by what other people think. I know by having to change, do running and create a different offer and change myself in the last couple of years, that sometimes people often look in and go, oh no, that's not for me. That's absolutely fine if it's not for them. But I also notice a lot of people who who want to do it, but struggle to do it through the fear of being looked on somewhat differently by other people. And I just wanted to sort of reiterate why it's important not to care. I used this point a couple of weeks ago in one of my 3 points about attacking lockdown. And whilst I want to sort of move on from that and move on from talking about it, I think it's really important to not sort of care too much what people say. Whilst I'm asking you guys to listen to others, take on information. Of course, what I'm doing is passing on information. I'd love guys to listen. But sometimes if you want to do something, it's so important just to go and do it. A classic example of this, I was watching something the other day about Tiger Woods, and Tiger Woods was a young prodigy, a young sort of golfer like any other, tipped to be the best in the world. It can happen, of course, but Tiger Woods wanted to be that so much better. He wanted to make sure he was number one. There's lots of child prodigies that don't reach potential. You see it in football all the time. Players are tipped to be top players from the age of 8, 9, 5 even, and they don't quite make it for one reason or another. But what Tiger Woods did, he found a different approach. He made it different for himself. While there was a lot of what's the best way of putting it, unfit sort of aging golfers, who was brilliant at what they did, brilliant at playing golf. Tiger Woods wanted to be the complete sportsman. He wanted to get out there and be the best. He wanted to be a sportsman, not just a golfer. And part of that was looking at his appearance. And whilst he learned to play golf when he was young, he was already quite good at the sport, of course. He wanted to find that edge to be better. And so what he did, basically, he went to the gym, and all these older guys looking in, going, what's this guy up to in the gym? Why is he pumping iron? What's that got to do with golf? But when he developed, when he built himself out and he grew up and he became part of the pro circuit, he was hitting the golf ball 50 yards further than anyone else, and golf then became a completely different sport. So whilst they were mocking him to start with, by the end of it, the action, they wanted to be able to hit the ball 50 yards further. They all got in the gym, and golf sort of transformed itself into a more athletic sport. It was a bit more about being a sportsman than just hitting balls around the field, and that's really important to remember, isn't it? Because if he'd have took the standard approach, he might have been the best player in the world. What he did, he looked for that edge, and whilst all those was mocking him, like I say, he was tearing it up. He was tearing up the record book. He was winning every tournament in sight, and because he wanted to be that little bit different, sometimes it's not about being completely different, but it's about accepting change, and it's about accepting what's put in front of us. And I think that the more you sort of learn to do that, it's something I've learned a lot in the last few years, is to sort of listen a lot more, but understand what works for me, what I want to do and why I want to do it, and when I get something in mind, I'm single-minded enough now to go ahead and do it. And I think that's what's really important. Going back to the start of this and the Tuesday training, the Wednesday workout, I've had to rip up the Do Running sort of manual and recreate something for COVID and lockdown, which is going to keep us active and keep us doing the things we enjoy, and it's fantastic. It's given me such a buzz watching people sort of grow into it, enjoy it, make the most of it. But there's still those out there that sort of question it and look in and go, well, no, that's not what I'm used to. And perhaps they're questioning it because they haven't decided to do it. When I had a running club, people would come in, they'd make their own choice. That's absolutely fine. But right now, some of these choices have been taken away from us, haven't they? It's not about control. It's not about losing any control. You've still got a decision to make, but please don't be worried about what other people think. That's where you have lost control. You make the choice, you take these things on, and you'll get so much from it. I can assure you of that. I'm out in a field right now, walking around, it's getting dark. It might seem a bit odd to some, but it's what I want to do. It's what I enjoy doing. I'm learning all the time different ways to sort of approach things. You know, convention is an horrible word, isn't it? You know, we've always done it this way. Spoke about how important it's not to do that. I'm learning even today. Do you know, rather than sort of do all my work this afternoon, I've got lots to do tonight. But that's not a problem. It's still only the same amount of hours in the day. But because somebody's always told me to do it between this time, do I have to do it that way? Well, I'm not quite so sure anymore, do you know. And what this does give me is a perfect sort of way to refresh, rethink, you know, and be ready to attack it this evening before then again resting by going to bed and waking up for a new day. Hopefully that made sense, guys. Like I say, I just want to sort of get a bit deeper into that issue about not being sort of not worrying about what people say. You know, whilst it is important to listen, it definitely is. You know, we can't be defined by others. We're not about long enough for a start. Do you know, for many years, I'll be really, really honest now, I was in a relationship that I know I shouldn't have been in, do you know, and I've never really said this out of respect for the other person. There's nothing wrong with that person, and that's a nice person, sort of, although it didn't work between us. Do you know, I know I shouldn't have been there, but because things had not quite worked in other relationships, things had not worked to a certain point in my life, I felt I had to give that a real go, do you know. I felt I had to try my best, even though I possibly wasn't committed to it. So what I'm saying here is I've learned the hard way, you know, by thinking and doing things because other people expect you to do it that way. You know, it's a little bit dangerous, isn't it? I look back and think I wasted 7 years of my life. You know, I didn't. There was lots of good things to come from it. There was lots of positives, but like I say, just by thinking I had to do it a certain way because I was letting things define me, or other people's expectations take over, do you know, it was really important for me to snap out of that. And it wasn't until I snapped out of that, do you know, that situation sorted itself out, and then I started looking at everything I do, that everything else fell into place. Do you know, I was forced into an uncomfortable zone, so you know, I learned how to deal with it. And it's not until you sort of reach breaking point, you reach the point of no return, that sometimes you understand, if you've not got the right people around you explaining how it should be. And that's just a little bit of a life experience for me there, and why we shouldn't be worried too much what people say. Like I say, we're not here long enough. The only thing we can control is ourselves, you know. So don't blame the world, don't blame COVID, don't blame lockdown or whoever's the president of the USA. Do you know, that's not important. What's important is you decide how you're going to do things, what you're going to take part in, and you decide how much you're going to enjoy it. That's the message for today, guys. Hopefully it makes sense, like I say. Do you know, hopefully you can get out there and get some steps in. It's getting really dark now, as you can see. I'm not even sure you can see me. So if you can, if you like the video, please like and share. Do you know, another one of these things I'm faced with is people feeling uncomfortable around me speaking about DOdaily and speaking about some of the subjects I do. That's tough, do you know. It's something I'm choosing to do, and it's not going anywhere. Something I enjoy doing, something that's helping me, and hopefully it's helping one or two others. So please like and share. Do you know, I might have used a strange analogy or two, but then so did the deputy medical officer yesterday, Jonathan Van Tam. So if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me as well. Until tomorrow and Thursday Thoughts, keep posting those questions if you can. Really, really appreciate something to go at. You know, keep posting those songs. What's reminding you of 2020? Love to read a few of those out. Perhaps I could even play a few. But until then, take care, get out, get them steps in. Let's see how many we can do. You know, just doing it.